Alright, so as usual, power hour stream, it's been really quiet for flow here. We're try to make it last until close here, but it's been very quiet. If you've seen anything you like or got questions about any flow or anything, feel free to drop it. But I'm going to kind of just start out here with the market tide. Getting a lot of bid side action here. All call premiums have finally got above that zero, and you're seeing some ask side there, but still seeing more put volume here, so not really a good clear signal on here. It looks like it's mostly meta kind of driving those call premiums up today. But for the most part, I mean, all day has just been kind of flat bid side, just not a lot going on here. And then just kind of looking at the sector, I didn't even look at volume really. I mean, getting decent volume here. I mean, got about 20 million or so to go until hit that 30-day average, but the same was yesterday. I mean, we got above that average for volume, but it has just been, it was a very choppy environment yesterday. But energy above your 30-day average. I think that might be our only one. Let's see. Yeah, energy is your only sector above the 30-day average right now. I mean, everything else is here. Can check Oracle here for you. Let me just pop back to the tide here. I did see some opening Oracle a little earlier, some call flow here a little earlier in the day. We'll see, my internet's still being a little goofy here. It's had that internet outage earlier this morning, but yeah, I had some Oracle call flow a little earlier in the day here. Got a quick little pop on it, about 17%, but I mean, for the most part, just kind of choppy, or be up about 10% now or so on them, kind of flat actually. But kind of looking at that actual call flow as well too here, most of it kind of coming in here. That IV does kind of dip when it comes in here. It's about 8 seconds after that one. These could be sells at the ask. I do get that kind of IV decrease here at the end though. Kind of a coin flip on that one. Obviously you got some bigger size and premium down here as well too. I just don't like how that IV decreases there at the ask there, and with the bigger size and premium. So it's tough. Oracle's been very volatile after earnings there. Obviously it looks like that whale is still in, but for sure it's an opening trade. Getting good net call premium. We are up on the day. 4% out of the money is not too bad, especially with the moves we've been seeing on Oracle. Then I did have a longer dated put come in here as well. And this one, man, the Xfinity just crapped the bed this morning. I think we had like 6,000 people that were having internet issues today, and I'm still kind of feeling it. And this Oracle put here, this one just kind of junky here. You don't really get a good side. It's ask, mid, and bid all on that one. So nothing really too much sticking out on that specific one there for me. But what else do we have for Oracle coming in? Yeah, ours, we had, I woke up, I got through half of the morning updates, and then my internet went out, and I was like, cool, great, just what I want to deal with. And it wasn't supposed to be back on until like 11:30 for me, but it ended up kind of kicking back up like right before open, so I was happy about that. So I was doing the hotspot off my phone trying to get everything up. Yeah, it's thankfully the market's been very slow too. Let's see what else we got for some end of the week stuff here. So you got some more calls here. We'll look at all three here. Actually, I'm gonna clean this up. We'll look at these three. I think we looked at one of them. Yeah, this one, nothing super clear here to know who's what and what's opening there. So that's a quick, easy pass on that one. The 197, we just looked at that one. Kind of a coin flip on that one. It looks good after. Again, I'll show it again. Don't have much else to show, so we can kind of revisit them if you got questions. But just kind of how that IV's up at that 59.65 here. Then it drops when that big size and premium comes in, and then that IV kind of rises towards the end there. So kind of a coin flip. I'd put that one. That one is in the risky flow channel, but it's more risky on that one. I haven't been able to get a super clean read on the flow the last couple weeks. It's just been kind of all over the place. We just haven't had any super actionable 100% great looking flow. I mean, we had a couple last week, and let's look at here before I go off on a tangent. Yeah, this one, yeah, just a lot of volume, and it's not carrying over. So again, a lot of contracts changing hands on that one, so nothing super interesting there. Crap, when was I going to look up before that? Before we were going to look at Oracle. Oh yeah, we had two decent pieces of flow. Man, this internet just blows. Moderna, these came back almost slightly break even today. Still a lot of time on those. I mean, up there, and I came back up to that 214 again. Long time on those. They're probably not looking at a one-day move on there. A little longer term on those. That whale is still in. Then those ONDS actually made a good move yesterday and today, so plenty of time to get some profits on those. They are in the money too, but nice day today on those. Yeah, that 70, they ran up to 77 there. Again, 73, 74 at open, kind of 70 again there. Did hit 82 with that spread, so once they get in the money, that delta becomes a little better on the contract, so spread can widen a little bit, but good move. I mean, the two pieces of flow this week that actually looked good. I mean, still kind of waiting on it, and the Moderna one a little longer term as well, too. But everything that's just kind of coming in very long term, horrible spreads, and like the Tilray one, that's interesting here. Like, this would be a good lotto one, I'd say, more than anything. I mean, that spread is horrible, but and that IV was like 330% on these when I looked. Yeah, 351. So very, very volatile on those, and again, very risky here, but a lot of call volume and just a lot of call premium, obviously. There's news that marijuana could get, or Trump wants to kind of decriminalize it a little bit. MU calls, again, 3 days. You're just not getting a lot of big size on this stuff. And this one, I mean, big multi-leg percent, so right away, just kind of a no for me. Look at it for educational purposes, though. That IV is pretty high. Oh, MU reports earnings this week. I was like, why is IV so high on MU? I forgot they report tomorrow. Let's see, I think that was our first trade. No, it wasn't. Yeah, so I mean, IV spikes when it comes in. It's, again, earnings tomorrow, so kind of a crapshoot anyways there. But, yeah, I mean, the NVIDIA ones, though, that multi-leg was a little higher when it came in there, and kind of looking at them to 8% for 10, or 8% for 10 days out there. Yeah. It's just not like it. You can see, I mean, right when it starts to come into that IV drops, then it rises again, rises towards the end here, and then kind of rises up a little bit more. Again, just not a super clear signal there where I'm 100% confident in calling something out like that. The SMCIs, again, smaller size here, smaller premium. Bid ask is okay. 40% out of the money for 94 days. SMCI, we know, very volatile. Do have some previous open interest on this one. Looks like they started coming in at the beginning of November. Yeah, so I mean, definitely an opening trade. just kind of looking at it again too. I mean, you just see that IV decreasing. It's coming in at the ask, but that IV dropping, I just don't get super good confidence in that. And it might run. Again, these are just, I like to see that IV rising with that flow coming in at the ask. If it's not, that's okay, move on. You don't need 1,000 pieces of flow a week. These KHCs, I actually really like these. But the thing that I didn't like about them, your earnings in 57 days. But that 104, and this flow looked actually really good when it came in, but again, you just had that earnings flow there. Let's go back a page. You can see, so like this one looks good. That IV spikes there when it comes in. Actually, I think this was the earlier flow. Nope. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was a little more. So IV spikes when that comes in. Your spot is filling at the ask. So 25.29. Again, spots filling at the ask the entire time there. Looks like we take a break there for a little bit. Then you have some more flow come in here a little bit later. So, I mean, I really like that flow. It looked good. But earnings, more than likely this isn't earnings related because it's about a 40-day overlap of earnings. But again, you just never 100% know. So that is a risky flow channel drop there. I feel like I saw some more KHC too. No, okay, yeah, it was that same one. So I saw it hit the flow feed twice. Yeah, almost right after each other too. I mean, 5 minutes apart. QBTS, again, not coming in right at the ask. That spot's filling 8 cents below the ask and 20 cents below or above the bid. It's decent, but 3 days out, and I mean, you're 2% out of the money. You're just not getting a lot of put premiums coming in either as well. So again, another riskier flow one there. Avgo, these were interesting to me a little bit. Actually, no, they weren't. I at first was looking at them, but then I remember there were some issues here with the open interest because you come back here and see that. Yeah, at first I was looking at that Avgo and I was like, this looks kind of good, and then saw there was a modification, and I will not follow something that had a big modification that you can find on the flow there. Costco, 10 days out. So it did have some volume yesterday, and about half of that carried over to today. God. So just kind of a lot of big spikes there. You got the big volume here, 2,000. You have to check that open interest tomorrow. Just kind of looking at it too. Was this 1948? So yeah, I mean, the IV does rise when it comes in, so it looks good, but just the way that flow's kind of structured there, I'm just not a massive big fan of it. Contracts kind of changing hands there. You don't get that clear conviction there. Then you got the massive spike in put premium too. PSX, I actually really like these for the long-term flow, and yeah, those things actually ran already. This one, when I saw that, let's go back here. Oh, so I mean, you see right when that flow comes in, IV spikes, flow's coming in at the ask, contracts filling at the ask there. So, I mean, the IV stays up. You get a little drop there, but it's only on 7 contracts, and you're only coming in a penny below the ask. Looks good there. So that's why it's saying it's a descending fill. So IV does kind of drop here a little bit towards the end. I think. No, that did all come in at the same time. Yeah, and then you did get a little more volume after with that IV spike. This one, and I mean, you see some bigger spikes here throughout the afternoon too. But when this one came in, I mean, there was no premiums on this thing, and then you get the massive spike in the net call premium. This contract alone was 21% of the total volume on the day, so that's a very large chunk there. So that one obviously making a nice little move there now. TJX. Put premiums up. Let's see. Yeah, you just see that IV is just bouncing all over the place there. You just don't get that good confident read in it. And this is how the flow's been the last couple of weeks. It's just trying to find a needle in a haystack right now. And I mean, you see that spot bouncing around. I mean, it's just all over the place. BMNR, these ones actually went into the risky flow too because that IV again was all over the place on this one. I think we had another BMNR here before. Yeah, I think it was this first little candle. But yeah, you can see how that IV was kind of decreasing as it was coming in. Flow was filling at the ask though, so double-edged sword there where again IV's not matching what you like, but your spot is filling at the ask. And then you had that other candle right here where you do see that IV spike there and then rise up there towards the end. So I would probably, those I would have a little more confidence in just with that IV rising on that second batch. But again, you're just seeing bid side premiums for puts and calls here, so you're just not getting that strong ask side conviction there. Datadog, again, not the best fill. Tesla, these things. This one actually went into the risky flow, I believe, as well, but you're chasing Tesla that was already kind of ripping at the time there. But quick good move on those. Hood, again, these fills have just not been good, and I mean this one's almost a split of bid and ask side flow here. Call premium was up here, but again, just looking at that IV, spot does rise a little bit and then kind of chops a little bit, but IV drops, rises, drops. Again, you just don't get that clean, clear conviction on it. And I mean, even a little more after here. 3 seconds after, it doesn't show it's related to the trade, but educated guess, 3 seconds, big size, big premium, probably related, and your IV did pop there a little bit too. Yeah, so IV's just all over, and this one I'd have maybe a little more confidence of taking with all that net call premium on the day as well, and puts sitting bid side. But yeah, I mean, and then those Teslas at open, just, I don't like grabbing that flow at open just because it's a little more volatile. I like to kind of let the market settle in for about 15, 20. I mean, you look at that flow right when it's coming in. I mean, it's just all over the place. You just don't get a super clean signal. And yeah, that's literally my page of flow for the day. It's just been nothing major, and ETFs just absolutely junk on here. Gold, weeklies. Just, I mean, you already knew we were up a lot. Not wanting to chase something on a weekly that's up that much. QQQ, these ones actually went into the risky flow. You got a big candle of 1207 there, followed by another 1207 there. Would have to verify that open interest there. Then gold puts here, it's smaller size there. And this would be a block trade more than likely. Yep. So, yeah, just not much for flow there. But yes, we can look at Apple and GH. We will look at Apple first for you. Let's go look at Apple. So Apple, yeah, just last 14 days, not really seeing much for premiums there. I mean, a lot of bid side premium there, but market's already kind of fallen there for that. And just, yeah, 1 day level, I'm not seeing much for the premiums. Again, it's in bid side calls and puts with a lot of call volume. Let's see what we got for this. Highest volume contracts. Hey, you're pretty split here. Let's do 70% ask side here and see if we got anything. Let's do premium. Where are you? I'm ready for the week, and I can't believe it's only Tuesday. Okay, let's do 50,000 with at least 70% ask side. So, okay, that's not super deep in the money, so I kind of like that. So these 260 calls here on Apple. So the only issue is you do have a lot of open interest on that. Let's just kind of see how it looks. Yeah, see, you're just kind of lost in all the flow here with that small little candle there. You just don't know if it's part of one of the other trades or so on. And this is 85% multi-leg. Let's see. Let's take a peek at the multi-leg. So it looks like they're rolling those contracts out. So yeah, I mean, it's a bullish multi-leg there, so it looks like they roll them out. So that would be a good sign to the upside. Let's see, what other one can we look at here? Let's look at I like looking at the higher premium ones here. I just don't like this. 7% in the money's not super deep there. 255, again, multi-leg here. Yeah, bullish multi-leg though. And let's see if we can find one out of the money. Let's do these. Let's do it like this. Let's do that 300 for 2028. I don't think you want to wait that long. We'll do the 2%, 270 calls. Oh, we already looked at those. Okay, let's see. We'll do the 300. We're going to do the 300. Sorry, it's going to be for 2028. Just get an idea, though. Yeah, and I mean, an IV on something like this, too. Not as reliable, just with how far dated out it is there. I mean, 300, do you think Apple's going to probably be... Let's see. Let's do the 5-year chart. Oh, maybe just 1 year here. So 1 year from now, Apple's expected to be 5 plus or minus 5.42%. So $14 there. I mean, a lot can happen though within that time frame. Let's find a better one for you because that one kind of sucked. Just trying to find a shorter dated one here. I can do those 320s here. And yeah, I mean, it's all, none of that flow is completely opening either, so you don't get that super big confidence. We'll look at those 320s. Pop this back. Yeah, I mean, 16,000 contracts. Let's just see how it's kind of coming in. This candle, I mean, you do kind of a visual look here. I would probably lean this whale's more than likely opening a position. I mean, you don't have a lot of other large-sized candles. I mean, you have a couple in here, but if that volume carries over into tomorrow, that's something I would probably like to see. These ones are... Let's take a peek. So, okay, we got a little more volume. So that IV spikes when they come in. Spot is filling at the ask. 2302 looks like we're staying up at that. That IV staying up the entire time. 302. Then you have spike in that IV here on that big size and big premium. I like this flow. I like the 320s for February 20th for next year. I do like those. 17% out of the money. Not horrible, but one thing you got to watch is that earnings here. But the flow wise, it looks good. I like the flow wise. Everything else just kind of more smaller size there. I probably wouldn't pay attention to that too much. Let's go look at GH now for you. And actually, sorry, I want to look at one more thing here. I want to see how the gamma kind of looks on it. Yeah, I mean, slightly kind of decreasing here. Again, that gamma can kind of flip, and it can take a while for that price to catch up to that level. I mean, let's kind of look at Apple here. I mean, so February, then it kind of dropped off. I mean, it took about a month to kind of even drop a decent amount there. Then you had your really big drop there, obviously, in April. And then, yeah, net premiums here. Oops, let's go back here. Yeah, I mean, you're just not seeing too much for net premiums, just the big bid side call there, and Apple did catch up and technically filled that lower gap there. You do have that very large lower gap there, so you could see maybe a little more downturn, but hard to know. I wouldn't base a trade just strictly off the net premiums. It's just kind of another tool to keep an eye on there. So let's look at GH here. And I heard something ding, so I just want to see. Nothing. So GH, massive spike in that net call premium today. Put slightly above the ask. Let's look at this on a bigger time frame. So 14. Let's look at 30. Yeah, I mean, so bigger spike here. Obviously, we haven't been seeing a lot here, and that one drop there technically essentially would be filled. You can see that here on the shorter time frame. And when I'm looking at the net call premiums too, I'm looking at the different time frames. I'm not going to just say, oh, 14 days is the go-to. Just, it's all data points. You just have to combine all the data points. So this, I do like that spike in the net call premium. You're getting 60% bullish premium here. So this one, you got the 12-19-100 call getting hit here. So 85% ask side flow. And looks like it's at 12.15. That's what caused that spike there. And I mean, they already kind of ran 177. They're at 3 now. Those things ran quick. I'm trying to figure out why these didn't hit my filter. Oh, they did hit my filter. Was I? I was grabbing a lunch at the time. That's why. Let's look at the raw flow feed on it too. Yeah, at a little later lunch today, my parents decided to bring over 5 guys. So I was like, hey. And you wouldn't have been able to get really anything off this too. And just kind of looking at that bid-ask spread, not very good. But coming in as a block trade, big bid-ask spread, I probably would have passed on it too if I would have seen it. We're just kind of looking at the weeklies on that one. They're just kind of something more long-term too. Because, yeah, this one doesn't get a lot of option activity at all. I mean, at all. I want to go look at those again. Oh, that's a second candle that we looked at. First candle, yeah, I mean, again, hindsight's going to be 20/20 no matter what, but like this is again perfect example. Like if that IV, like how I'm saying I like to see that IV increase when it's coming up, that IV's decreasing that entire time when it's coming up here, and the ticker ran. So I mean, again, it's just context clues, and they're just kind of rules you have to live by. Like my rules probably aren't going to be the same as yours, and mine are more strict because I'm putting out flow for people to follow, so I need it to match every checkbox. But that's kind of why I came up with that risky flow channel too. Like, okay, well, the flow looks decent, but there's this wrong with it and so on. All right, let's see what else we got coming in here. Yeah, and if you got any other thing you want me to take a peek at, feel free. Let's take a look. Ooh, a massive hut multi-leg. I'm gonna grab a drink here and we can just look at this for fun. Yeah, like this is a massive multi-leg that I would not even touch with a 10-foot pole. It is bullish though. Reads it as bullish. Alright, what else do we got coming in here? Let's go look at some of our... Yeah, I mean, this is my hottest contract for the day. Usually I have 2 or 3 pages of this stuff, and look at those premiums. These are my highest premiums with at least 80% ask side here. It's a steep drop off from the 1 millions there. I mean, you can look at, I think we looked at the Costco ones already. Yeah, we did look at the Costco. Tesla, 800, yeah. I mean, and chasing something 64% out of the money when there's already been a big spike, it's tough to do. Avgo, we looked at those. The C puts, we did not look at these, so 1% out of the money. 1% multi-leg. 110 put. So does this, I would say, is probably earnings flow here. It is 2 days past earnings. Net put premium on the day. So again, I mean, you just, that IV dropping that entire time, it's kind of coming in. It's just not super reliable, and then again overlaps earnings. And then you just have a massive steep drop off into kind of junk. I'd say 5% multi-leg on these. Let's take a peek. $7.90. Yeah, I mean, just not getting anything super good. Just nothing super interesting to me. My ETF hottest, really small list there. I mean, not even anything over 500,000 there. That is just not. I mean, yesterday was like that too. Saw it in the channel there in our hottest contracts at the end of the day, but just nothing really sticking out. And 26,000 for an ETF, that's nothing. Absolutely nothing to even blink at. What our volume? Tesla, we looked at those. The cores, very long term. I know people like the long term stuff. I'm not a super big fan of it. Just I don't want to wait 2 years to get profits on something. A149, yeah, just I mean, all over, just junk. BE. Yeah, I know. I have no patience. That's why, like, the long-term flow channel, I'm like, I'll post in flow that's over 100 days. I will post anything 100 days over, but that is up to you to track and to kind of do all that. I'm not a fan. The longest I'll kind of stay in a trade, maybe 2 weeks at the most, 2-3 weeks. It just depends on, obviously, the contracts as well too. Like if I'm grabbing SPY calls on a massive dip, obviously I'll give it a little more time, but I am not a patient person. I sit and trade on the 1 minute chart. Like even if I grab something that's 2 weeks out, I sit and watch the 1 minute chart. I want that excitement and action in my life. Not wait 2 years for a damn 10% return. These, let's see. So these BEs might look kind of good here. They don't overlap earnings. IV spikes. Wider bid-ask spread there, though. Pull that up, small drop, not on a big chunk of premium, comes right back up. Again, drop, but not a massive one. Yeah, the BE flow looks kind of good there. 29% out of the money though for 10 days. You need a big 4 or 5% move day on something like that. Let's take a peek what it's going to tell us. Why am I going there? I mean, you get an 8% move, you get 135% on your contracts. And BE does move. BE does move. And it is kind of moving right now there too. Yeah, and just kind of everything else. I mean, JD calls, I think. Who asked about JD calls on a different stream? $98, so on your biggest chunk of size here. Okay, so it does pop and then it drops a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like, this to me, if you made me choose, I would probably say these are buys, just with that IV spike there on the bigger kind of size and premium there, but IV drops a little bit after. It's not super significant, but it's not something I'm looking for. If you made me choose, I'd probably lean their buys, though. Let's see what else we got for JD, because that flow's kind of interesting. So you got call and put premiums up today. Put volume is up. China stocks, I'm not a massive fan of kind of trading either. There's just so much volatility with them. Yeah, you got some long dated puts there. There's your big premium. Some more there. This is your biggest size on the day. That previous open interest. Ooh, yeah. So 5,200 there. About 5,000 there. So yeah, that's something. Want to watch that open interest on for sure. Oops. Come back here. Go back to the day. How's everything else kind of looking with JD? Yeah, I mean, a lot of negative gamma, but you're at your level essentially there. Yeah, not really seeing much for that one. Clean up some of this stuff. Oh, hey, there's that BE that we were just looking at that hit the feed there. How's the tide looking? Yeah, your all premiums are driving Tesla's contributing a lot now too. SPY's getting a lot of put premium. This is the wow. Look at that net call. I mean, you're seeing a lot of outflow and calls, assumingly seeing outflow and calls. Again, not everything that's a bid side is a sell, but this is very interesting to me. There, I mean, you've already kind of moved down a little bit on some of that outflow, and this is your largest outflow, at least in the last 30 days. I mean, by a large margin there. I hate trying to look through SPY contracts because it's difficult because there's so many names traded on it, and we're not going to do 0 DTEs. We're going to do 70% ask side, and let's do 80,000 in premium. So large, this one's interesting to me here. So you're 1% out of money, 19670 put, 20 million on these. Okay, so massive multi-leg there, so that's why I didn't hit my filter. But we'll look at it for the fun of it. So yeah, bearish multi-leg for sure. Let's see what else we can get. I'm going to take down some of that multi-leg there, so let's not go over 0.10. We'll do 0.15 just to see if we can get a little more in here. Yeah, so it's all in the money stuff. So it's not as good once you start filtering it. But these 710 puts, I mean, 4% on the money, not super deep in the money where I would hate that. Just not a lot of volume there, though. That's the thing. And this is one that you would want to double check that. Open interest on here. I mean, at face value here, yeah, and that IV is just kind of bouncing around too. Yeah, that in the money, and it's only 4% in the money, so it's not super massively in there, but the contracts start to, I mean, your delta increases as the contracts are in the money. That bid-ask spread starts to widen a little bit, so it kind of skews it a little bit. We'll do 0.25 just to, so 45 days, 677. So this is only 300 contracts. Yeah, you got those little spikes and easily can just see it visually there. When did this volume start to come in? So about November 4th, let's go 60. So yeah, today you'd have to check that volume just with that other, or the open interest tomorrow just with all that kind of earlier volume. It's only 300 contracts, so it's not large at all for SPY. And that IV does kind of drop there too, so not a massive fan of that there. Yeah, just not much to look at. I mean, that bid side call premium there is alarming to me there, though. And I know that gamma has been, I mean, you're still really far diverged from that gamma level there. It's like, what is that noise? Dog scared me. Yeah, just not a ton of good flow. These SLBs, I don't think we looked at these. Longer term, 13% out of the money. Down big spike in net call premium. Big volume on this one. But again, one that would be in that risky flow channel where you just see that IV drop, IV spikes, drops again, then it spikes here again at the end. I would probably lean that these are buys more so. Again, a little wider bid-ask spread there. But I'd be more safe to say that these are buys there. If you made me choose. Yeah, I mean, even today's premium, that's just not a lot there. Just not a ton there. Just gotta answer this text quick. So if you got anything you want me to look at, feel free to drop it. I'm just gonna answer this text and grab a quick drink too. This is exactly why we didn't stream yesterday, because it would have been even worse yesterday. Let's see. How's our tide looking? Oh, so SPY's kind of taking a little breather there, it looks like. Yeah, that is a massive difference there. Yeah, Meta getting a lot of net call premium here today. See a little more move up there to kind of fill that gap. What else do we got coming in on Meta? I don't know why I excluded 0 DTEs. It's not even Friday. Massively in the mold. Let's see. Where is my in the money on this one? Actually, we'll do... So out of the money, so some very long-term dated ones there. Gonna lower that ask side percentage there a little bit. Okay, maybe not that much. We'll do 60. You start to lower it and you get a little too much of stuff you don't need. These 10-day 682.5s look interesting here. These just came in too, 63% multi-leg, but let's see. Yeah, definitely. I'm guessing these are rolling amount or call debit spread there. So yeah, I mean, bullish. So that was the 682.5. Let's look at the 662.5. Again, big multi-leg. So this one's bearish multi-leg. So first glance, just wish I could find something really decent. How about those no, I was gonna say the 737s. No, never mind. Yeah, those. I mean those contracts are junk. There essentially. These puts. 600 here and you're at 1600 on the day. Yeah, I mean that thing is not a bear in sight. 40. Yeah, Ivy's just kind of bouncing around on that. Okay, what was that? Art calls. So probably an opener, and I'm guessing it's a block trade too. So this one, like, when you get the block trades, like this one's not as... I wouldn't probably discount this one right away just because you have that IV spike there on the bigger size. That spread just isn't the best there. How far are these out of the money? 3%, 10 days. Let's see. Yeah, these I'd probably lean towards buys too. Other than that, yeah, just nothing else really coming in. This dog just wants attention 24/7, man. But you're cute, so it's okay. Yeah, I'm not getting much else coming in, so I don't know if anybody has any requests or anything they want me to kind of take a peek at before we kind of wrap up here. About these, oh, it's multi-leg. See that tide one more time here. Yeah, out of the money calls kind of picking up a little bit there too. Just sitting right on that ask side, and like this is what gets interesting to me. You see your call premiums picking up here, your put volume decreasing, and call premiums kind of picking up here. That's something where I'd kind of look like if I'm scalping that, that's something where I'd potentially try to scalp there. MU multi-leg, okay. Yeah, we're not getting anything else really good here, so I'm going to probably hop off. It'll just be a shorter stream today, and then hopefully do one tomorrow with a little more flow. But unless anybody has anything they want me to take a peek at, I'm going to probably hop off here. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great afternoon.